right, young lady, it is 2:52 in the morning. I think you are my last program that I'm going to be able to get done tonight. But I wanted to get this done, finished for tonight, so you can wake up tomorrow, see your programming, and then you can be at the gym ready to rock and roll by 4 o'clock your time. I began typing out your review, and I've got your program mostly written out here on paper, and a lot of it already digital, ready to go. But as I began typing stuff and explaining stuff, I realized that it's better if I can talk and tell you just a few things, because you're 2 weeks out. You don't want to deload too much, and that's fine. You're in amazing shape. I'm going to say this several times probably, but going into this week, you can strain 3 times. You know, I mean, one of those, like do a lift where you have to be mentally right. You know, you have to be mentally tough to do it. You can do that 3 times and recover normally in this week. 2 times would be ideal. Anything that you do more than 2 or 3 times, maybe it's power stairs. Power stairs is a great example, because that's one of those events that it's like a deadlift. You can either do it or you have to be mentally alert to do it, or nothing happens. So you look at deadlift, you look at power stairs, maybe it's a squat, maybe it's a deadlift during the week, maybe it's the sandbag throw. But anything over 2, maybe 3, is going to require extra recovery on your part. It's going to require extra sleep, extra food, and extra. It's going to, quiet time. You know, I know you and I are both big on quiet time. I've got the TV going now, but I just got everybody to bed, so I've got my own time downstairs in the living room. I've got cartoons on the TV, but if the harder that you push, the more you're going to have to recover. And it's mental just as much as it is a physical recovery at this point. And I've already written a bunch of this down to you. Your incline log looks amazing. Viking press looks amazing. And I'm watching the screen here. That's why I'm not looking at you. Viking press looks great. I think it's amazing that when you were getting a spot on Viking, that he could not spot you. And that is a great sign that you are finally using your legs absolutely an insane, perfect amount. Your legs and your back are working together, which is huge. That wasn't happening a couple of months ago. And I think a lot of that comes down to a lot of the plank work that we've done, that funky overhead plank stuff that we're doing, raises, twists, turns, a lot of the, you call them dead bugs, stuff like that, getting your upper body to connect with your lower body. He couldn't spot you because your legs were working great, and you're using your legs to press the Viking press instead of just shoulders and triceps. And I think that's a great sign. All around amazing training session. We'll monitor it this week as well and keep you in the rough rep range that you need to be. We can push you actually pretty hard on Viking press this week. That won't be a problem. Deadlift, you said not all days are really motivated. I thought it was a great deadlift day. And this is one of the main reasons why I wanted to talk to you. I've made a lot of videos lately for clients, and I've tried to explain the idea of the motion before the motion. So the motion is the bar coming off the ground. Something needs to be moving before the bar starts to move. If you are completely motionless still, if you are, and then you start, you get in the perfect position and you're motionless, and then you start to pull, the chances of, you've created no tension, no motion, nothing. So you know how people used to roll the bar in and out, and I can't do that at my gym because the floor is all wobbly, and I can't do that anymore. But I get into position, and then I pull my hips up high and then drop them down low, and as soon as they hit the right spot, the point of impact, then I explode. I think something that I want you to try, I can try to get this on video for you tomorrow when I'm deadlifting. I think you're taking a breath and holding it and trying to lift on that breath. What I would like to see is you get into position, and this, you know, in the suit, this is real, in a suit, I know you're not lifting in a suit, but in a suit, this is really, really important. If you take a big breath in the suit and you go down and try to get set up, you're gonna pass out before you ever get a chance to move the bar. So it's different. In the suit, you get your chest full of air, but you're still breathing in and out, just like you would do on the Conan's wheel. You know, you're holding it, you're tight, but you're still small breaths without huge expansion or deflation of your chest. So, suit on, big breath, let the air parse the way out, and you go down. When you get set up on the bar, hands are on the bar, and then you go. And as soon as your mouth closes, once you lock that air inside, the millisecond that you lock that air inside, the bar explodes and you start to move. Your second rep on most of your sets, you're doing that. You're getting to the bottom, and as soon as you grab that second breath of air, boom, you explode. So I think that creating that internal pressure with air, the millisecond before you go to lift, could provide you with the motion before the motion that we're looking for. Could provide you with a little bit more torque and explosion out of the bottom on the first rep, like you're getting on the second, third, and fourth rep. While we're talking about deadlifts, I want to go ahead and say that your deadlifts later in the week, your heavier ones, fantastic. Those looked amazing. Everyone was watching you for a reason. Those are big lifts. I think you could have done 5, maybe 6. If you had 60 seconds, that would have been impressive. You're on the money. And you are definitely a performer when there are people there watching. You're just like me. You prefer to get warmed up and ready to rock and roll on your own. Going through the deadlifts, the front squats were great. You've got a lot of leg work in there. Your husband's definitely checking you out. You're doing the reverse hypers. The abdominal core work at the end it's amazing. It's ridiculous how you're getting everything to work together like that. Hercules hold, I won't talk about times or weights. I really wish I had that setup. I'm really jealous of that setup that you guys have, the whole apparatus. You're doing great making the right choice. You're practicing on the start, not how long can I hold it. Technique is going to be huge on this. You've got the technique, you've got it down. If you have a good start, you will have a good finish. If you have a bad start, you get your hands in the wrong position, something doesn't feel right, you're not comfortable, you're going to finish badly. So just continue practicing the start and go nowhere near failure anywhere. You're doing wonderful. I've got nothing to comment on that. Going through that video, we finished off with the sandbag onto the front porch of the house. I call it the second floor. I know, I've been in Europe for 16 years. I should call it the first floor, but the first floor is the ground floor. It is possible to be two things at once, like a man and a person, a woman and a person. So the ground floor can be also the first floor. The ground floor is the first floor. It's the first one. It's the first one in my house. It's the ground one. It's the first one. And then there's a second one. Right, there's a second one right up there. And that's where the bedrooms are, the second floor. And up on the roof could be the third floor. It really could. So you're throwing the sandbags onto the second floor. It even actually does sound more impressive in European when I say you're throwing the sandbags onto the second floor of your house than it does the American. Anyway, you get my point. I'm right. That's my point. And it should just be well accepted in Europe that the second floor is the second floor. I want you to try practicing with the kettlebell. 2, 3, 4 good swings. Replicate how you're throwing the sandbag. Does not need to come up high. Mid chest, what we're looking for is I want you to feel the weight through your legs. A kettlebell would be easier to throw than a sandbag, because a sandbag has that loose handle and the loose rope, and the harder that you pull on it, explode with it, the looser it gets. I want you to play with things like, do your shoulders and arms need to be super, super long? You have ridiculously long arms, and even though that you have long legs, you're having to shrug when it goes through your legs, down the grass, by your feet, and then your arms are getting longer as you're swinging up. So you're tight and loose, tight and loose. And I'm thinking you need to pick one or the other. So with the kettlebell, I want you to get a couple good swings with that. Set it down. You've got a good 5 seconds or so to grab that sandbag immediately after that and throw it. I'm thinking with a heavier, easier implement, maybe we can help get a better feel of your feet on the ground. Are we rocking heels to toe? Are we coming up on the toes? Are you exploding with the legs? I've noticed a couple of things. One, you look mentally tired and frustrated when you're doing these. That could just be because they're mentally tiring and frustrating and it's a boring event. It's also one of those lifts where if you start having some bad luck, every time you get to it, you continue to have bad luck. So it's mental, so you have to decide it's going to be a fun day, and it doesn't matter. You have to decide it doesn't freaking matter. I still don't want more than 3 misses in a day. That's ideal, just because I think misses are going to screw with your head. So I prefer that you get the makes. Try the kettlebell swings and then the sandbag. Do that on every sandbag on the way up. What else was I going to say? There was something else important there that I was going to say. Really was. You can do whatever you need to on these. I don't mind. Limit your misses. Have fun. Smile. Show up with a good or bad attitude, whichever one you like. But shoot for success, because failure on these leads to failure. There's something else I was going to say. I'll remember it later. Your squats. I really thought you were going to go light. You went pretty heavy. But doggone it, that's some of the best squats I've seen you do in a long time. You've got a great bar position, a great bar path. I don't see you rocking. You're not dropping onto the box. I mean, you're like 190, you're like 6'3", 6'3 and a half, something like that. I don't know. They look phenomenal. I really want to pull back hard on the box squats. And I would pull back hard on the squats. Just because I don't want you to send me a message and say, man, there's something messed up with my knee. So what I will do is I will probably pull back the volume, the number of sets and reps, and then I will give you the latitude, the ability to choose when to stop, because you've made a lot of great choices. You've stopped early anytime that you've had pain. So I will continue to give you that option and opportunity to stop whenever you need to. But the rest of the day, the band squats, pistol squats, you're getting so much control. If you go back a couple of months that you've been doing these and watch the videos, there's no comparison. It's night and day. It's like it's a different person. And you've got so much control. The thing is, now you're challenging, because now I have to find another exercise or 6 that are tough. And of course, I've got ideas. But, we're constantly looking for weaknesses, and you're becoming, how over 50 do you just automatically start becoming a better athlete? That's supposed to be genetics, and it only happens like in puberty and maybe through your 20s if you're just untrained. Doesn't make sense. It's phenomenal. All the rest of the work that you did throughout the squat day is amazing. The leg extensions, calves, I believe was on this day as well, and more ab work. Going down to the last day, events, phenomenal. Warming up on the reverse hypers, back extensions, your deadlifts were amazing. I already mentioned that earlier. Your deadlifts were absolutely amazing once you got fired up. I think with your heaviest set, I don't want to mention any numbers, but that's impressive. That's impressive. Your sandbag pickups, you're doing correctly. I know the medley at the contest is, what, 3 or 4 reps on the deadlift, followed by 2 sandbags, carry and load over bar. We know that you're strong enough. Your technique is there. We know that your endurance is there. I mean, we've killed you on reverse hypers. You know, your endurance is 100% there. Your hamstrings can go, your glutes can go, your lower back can go. I mean, you're 120 kilograms with abs, 265 pounds with abs, and you're a woman, and you're natural. You're over 50. Your body is in amazing shape. All we need to know with that sandbag is, this is how I'm going to pick it up. You know, this is what I'm going to do. Pick it up a few steps and drop it down. Don't get beat up. What I will say on this day, when it comes down to the medley, the deadlifts or the sandbag, I'm going to leave everything completely up to you. You do what you need to do. I've told you what I think we should do, and that's very, very light. But mentally, if you need to get fired up and go do that, you can still do that this week. Okay? You're in good enough shape, and I think that we can, even if something doesn't feel great, I think we can recover from that. Power stairs, you had 1 light run, looked smooth. Your heavier run is only slightly slower than your light run, but honestly, your heavier run is heavier than some of the men's contests that I'm programming for other people. This is another thing that I like to see you strain on this. I like to see you have to reach for the stairs to try to make that extension. And we both know that you are strong enough that if you are straining to get it, most people are not going to get it. So I think that's absolutely wonderful, and you can continue to do that. And then, of course, you finished off again with the sandbag throws onto the 2nd floor of your house. Free range, basically, again, I want you to use caution on the sandbags and make sure that you do not burn out mentally. I don't want you going in to the week before the contest and think that you need to be going outside throwing the sandbags every day because it's your worst event. I don't think it's a horrible event for you, but we can't let that get into your mind, okay? Don't want to let that get into your mind at all. So we need some successes, and as soon as you're successful, stop. Of course, I wish we knew what the other girls were doing for the contest so we would feel better, because that's a heavy freaking bag. A 15-kilo bag at that height is no joke. It's absolutely no joke. So I wanted to send this to you, all the praises. And we're talking about I'm thinking about how much volume can you do the last couple of weeks. And I think that you can do a lot of volume, a lot of work. You can push on, we'll continue to give you lots of options on every exercise to push how you feel. This is a mental game and a health game from here on out. You can push things like all lat work, pull downs, underhand, overhand, all kinds of rows. You can always do tricep work, hamstrings, all the machines, the leg curls, leg extensions, the calf raises. All of that stuff can be pushed like crazy as long as you can recover from it. So all of those things are going to burn glycogen. They're going to burn your sugar stores. And I know that you know this, but they're going to use your carbohydrate stores. And they're going to give you that pump, which is fine. It's great. Make sure that you replace it and make sure that you are always able to get that pump. If you're not, we have to look at your electrolytes. Make sure you have enough sodium, make sure you have enough carbs, and make sure that you are relaxed mentally and physically. Don't be afraid to add a little bit of salt. I know that you do. That's not an issue. Some kind of electrolytes before, after training. And just let me know how things are going. I'm here every day. Anyway, I'm going to start uploading this. I'll be done with your programming. It's 3:11 in the morning. Hopefully by 4, I'll have everything finished. I'll have that over to you. And then I'll hit send, and then I'm going to bed. I'm trying to get these eyes to close. Talk to you later, young lady.